The sun rises, it cuts through the morning mist. Another day begins. I am alive. That is the first victory. The world is quiet. Utterly, completely quiet. There are no cars, no airplanes overhead. Just the wind whistling through the empty shells of buildings. It is a lonely sound. Before, the city was a beast. It roared with life, with millions of voices, engines, and machines. Now, its silence is the loudest thing I have ever heard. You have to learn to live with it. You have to make it your ally, not your enemy. Otherwise, it will break you. The loneliness is a constant pressure, a weight on your soul. My morning routine is simple, it has to be. Survival is about conserving energy. First, I check my perimeter. I look for tracks, fox, deer. Sometimes a wolf pack strays too close, they are getting bolder. Nature is reclaiming this concrete jungle, and we are all just animals trying to survive. I climb to the rooftop of what was once a grand hotel. From here, I can see for miles. The view is spectacular. Greenery is swallowing the gray. Ivy climbs the glass towers like a living carpet. It is beautiful, but it is also a reminder that the world moves on, with or without us. Next is water. Water is life. I have a system. Rainwater collection on the roof, filtered through charcoal and sand. Simple, but effective. You learn to be resourceful when there is no one else to rely on. I light a small controlled fire. I use a flint and steel. Matches are a luxury, and they will run out. I boil the water to make it safe. Over the flames, I heat a can of beans. It is not a gourmet breakfast, but it is fuel. It is what keeps the engine running. In this world, you eat to live, not live to eat. Every mouthful is a small triumph against the odds. With breakfast done, I check my gear. My knife is sharp, my bow is strung tight, my arrows are straight. These are my tools, they are my lifeline. Without them, I am vulnerable, I am prey. Survival is a mental game more than anything. You must stay sharp, you must stay focused. You have to anticipate the dangers before they find you. Every day is a test of your will, your skills, and your spirit. You cannot afford to fail, not even once. The stakes are too high. It is the ultimate challenge, man, versus the end of the world, and I am not ready to give up. The city is my hunting ground, but it is not food I am always looking for. It is supplies, canned goods, tools, medicine, anything that can give me an edge. Today, I am heading to an old library. Books are important. They are a connection to the world that was. They hold the stories, the knowledge, the dreams of a billion souls. I move through the streets carefully, I stay in the shadows. The open spaces are dangerous, you never know what is watching from the empty windows. The silence can be deceiving, the world is teeming with life, just not human life. I enter the library. The doors are broken, hanging off their hinges. Inside it smells of dust and decaying paper. Shafts of sunlight pierce the gloom, illuminating floating dust motes like tiny ghosts. It is a cathedral of forgotten words. I run my hand along the spines of the books. History, science, fiction. Each one is a message in a bottle from a lost civilization. I am looking for something specific. A manual on botany. I need to know which plants are safe to eat. My canned supplies will not last forever. I must learn to live off the land, even if the land is a ruined city. Survival is about adapting. You have to learn new skills constantly. I find a book on edible plants of the region. It is a jackpot. I also find a collection of old maps. Knowledge is power. These maps show me water sources, old industrial areas, places where I might find useful materials. I pack them carefully into my rucksack. Every successful scavenge feels like a victory. It extends my life. It gives me a fighting chance for another day, another week. But it is a lonely victory. There is no one to share it with, no one to celebrate with. As I leave the library, I see them, a herd of deer grazing peacefully in what was once a busy city square. They look up, their ears twitching, but they do not run. They are not used to fearing humans anymore. I am just a strange, two-legged animal in their world. It is a powerful moment. It shows how the balance has shifted. Nature is healing. The animals are returning. It is a sign of hope, in a way. It shows that life is resilient, it finds a way. Even in the face of total devastation, life endures. It is a lesson I take to heart. The afternoon is for work, maintaining my shelter, tending to my small rooftop garden, but it is also for remembering. I have a small box. It contains a few photos, a smiling woman, a young boy, my family. They are ghosts now, just like everyone else. Looking at their faces is painful. It is a sharp, stabbing pain that never truly goes away. But I force myself to do it. I have to remember why I keep fighting. I am not just surviving for myself, I am surviving for them. I am a living monument to their memory. I am the last one who remembers their laughter. I have started a journal. I write in it every day. I record what I have done, what I have found, what I have seen. It is my captain's log, the log of the last human on Earth. Maybe someday someone will find it. Maybe aliens will visit this planet and wonder what happened to us. This journal will be my testimony. It will say, we were here, we lived, we loved, we mattered. It is a foolish hope perhaps, but hope is a powerful fuel. It can keep you going when everything else is gone. Talking to myself on paper helps keep the madness at bay. Sometimes I talk out loud. I talk to the photos. I tell them about my day. I describe the deer in the square. I read to them from the books I find. It feels insane, talking to ghosts in an empty world. But the silence is a predator. My own voice is a shield against it. It reminds me that I am still human, that I still have a voice. It is a small act of defiance against the crushing loneliness. In the quiet, your mind can play tricks on you. You start to hear things. A whisper on the wind, a footstep in the next room. It is just your mind, desperate for connection. I spend hours going through old objects. A child's toy car, a faded concert ticket, a music box that still plays a tinny, haunting melody. Each item tells a story. It is a fragment of a life that was once lived. I am the curator of a Dead Worlds museum. It is a heavy burden, to be the sole keeper of humanity's memory. But it also gives me a purpose. My mission is not just to survive, it is to remember. As long as I am alive, our story is not over. The final chapter has not yet been written, and I will not let it end in silence. As dusk settles, the world changes. The shadows grow long and menacing. The familiar city becomes a landscape of fear. Night is the hardest time. The cold seeps into your bones, but it is the fear that is colder still. Every creak of the building, every rustle in the overgrown streets, sounds like a threat. My senses are on high alert. My heart pounds in my chest. Is it just the wind, or is it something else? Something moving in the darkness. In the day, I am the hunter. At night, I feel like the hunted. It is a primal fear, the fear of the dark. I secure my shelter. I bar the door. I sit by my small contained fire, my back to a solid wall. The flames dance and cast flickering shadows. They are my only companion. I watch them for hours. They are alive, they consume, they give warmth and light. In their hypnotic dance, I find a strange comfort, but the darkness beyond the firelight is vast and absolute. It is where the doubts creep in. What is the point of all this? This struggle for survival? Am I truly the last one? The thought is a crushing weight, an existential dread that is hard to shake. Sometimes I dream of other people. I dream I hear a voice on an old radio, a crackle of static and then a word. Hello? I dream of seeing a plume of smoke on the horizon, a sign of another survivor. I always wake up with a jolt, my heart aching with a mixture of hope and disappointment. The silence that greets me is always the same. Was it just a dream, a trick of a lonely mind, desperate for contact? Or was it a premonition, a glimmer of real hope? I have to believe it's possible. It is the one thing that keeps me from despair. I look up at the sky. The stars are brighter than I've ever seen them. Without the city lights, the galaxy is a river of diamonds. It is beautiful, terrifyingly beautiful. It reminds me how small I am, how small humanity was. A tiny spark in a vast, indifferent cosmos. But we were a brilliant spark. We built wonders, we told stories, we loved. And I'm still here, the last spark. And I will not let it go out. Not tonight. I will hold on to hope, I will face the dawn, and I will survive. I have to. It is the only thing left to do.